I'm sat outside the Welcome Tavern in Belper with the landlord, Stephen Lilley, who for the last, 20 years, Stephen and I have been filming all around the British Isles doing the ghost tour of Great Britain. And I'm in his pub and he's got a ghost. I can't believe it. When did you take it over, Steve?
24th of May, 2016.
So he's just a couple of months and he's got a ghost that they think is called Martha. And she was an ex-landlady. And the amazing thing is, because for years and years I've been talking about the fact that people stay behind because they like it. And I'm pretty sure that Martha stays behind here because it was her pub. And since he's moved in, all sorts of things have happened. Have they not?
They have.
Tell me all about it. I can't believe it, because we've done this so many with other landlords over the years, and now you're doing it with me.
Well, as you know, Richard, I've been very sceptical about the whole we've interviewed thousands.
He doesn't believe in ghosts.
We've interviewed thousands of people, and I'm not saying they're lying.
No.
I've said they were lying.
No, you haven't.
Every county in Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And,
I know. We're going to do Ireland next, but
anyway,
come on, tell us all about it.
But the first night we moved in, me and my wife lay in bed, and all we could hear was the barrels in the cellar rattling. And I doesn't get out of bed. She wouldn't, right? So we just left it at that.
You didn't. You see, people don't. You should have surely. Didn't you think there was an intruder? Or something, or not? No?
Well, to be fair, we're just moving house and moving a business into here. Yeah. I was that tired. I thought, well, if he were to steal out,
let him have it.
Good luck to anybody trying to pitch a 22, gallon calling out at cellar. But anyway, a few days later, I was in the cellar, and the light went out. Fuses have gone. I was on the pub on my own. Went up, just tried the switch as you do, and the switch had been switched. It was all in the ear. Put it down to, well, what do you put it down to?
You put it down to, you tick the normal box.
Yeah, that's right. But then I started telling people, customers that come in and things like that, and then a whole plethora of stories started coming out. Old landlords and landladies was contacting me. Oh yes, that's Martha. And then the lady who lived next door, named Gloria, right, sent me some photographs of Martha. Landlady who was here from the 1950s, early 60s, pulling a pint of double diamond behind the bar, and all the landladies and ex-landlords that was here say it happens for the first 3 months while you're in the pub.
Yes.
Basically, she's telling you not to mess about with your pub, and basically giving you a guiding way of whatever. Now, I also do a lot of printing work, and I had to print a load of mugs the other day. Not got set up properly with moving, so I put my printing machine onto the pool table. Got all the mugs out to print them. It was for a Derby charity. Lo and behold, these mugs started smashing. Handles just blown up. Well, handles falling off. And I think that was Martha didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
I think, what are they doing down here with all these mugs and this printing?
Why aren't they concentrating on the business?
On the pub, yeah. So that's that. Now we've got a barmaid called Wendy. Right. Her nickname's actually Wappy, but. She's told me stories that her handbag has flew across the bar.
Yes.
Other customers have seen it, first time I'd heard of it. But,
she told me tonight, same thing. And I said, you mean it just fell off the kitchen? No, it flew across. It flew across the bar. The counter. Yeah, there, she's here now. You're saying she's saying it. So, tell us about your handbag, Wendy.
Right, working away. My handbag was on this chair.
Yes.
A customer come and said, can I have a part? And said, Wendy, what's happened to your bag? And it went straight across to the other side of the bar. And I swear on that, I know my kids' lives what happened.
I believe you. Yeah, it's definitely, it has to be Martha.
And then at night,
surely. Yes.
I lock up. When Liza was here, I used to lock up. Everybody had gone. Everything went on, then I could hear something. What has happened? And all the taps turned on.
The water taps?
Yeah. All the taps turned on, and Wendy, will you turn them taps off at night? And I says, I haven't put them on.
Yeah.
We used to get it all the time. Then we were playing dominoes. We got that, your pin board where you put your pins in.
Yep.
Somebody spilled ale on it, so we chucked it in the sink. And they said, I'll wash it and I'll get it back. Went to the sink, went there.
Okay.
Half an hour later, went back. You were there.
Back in the scene. Oh, come on. It's, I know.
No, it's true, though.
I know it's true.
You
I
don't
know
believe
it's
it,
true.
do you?
Oh, listen, Wendy, you're so wrong. I've been doing this for 23 years, and I've spoken to thousands of people that tell me so similar things to what you guys are telling me now.
Yeah.
Of course I believe it, but the world doesn't, and it's time they did, because there is something in it. Martha is still here. She's keeping an eye on you guys, because she still thinks it's her pub. It's real. There's no doubt about it.
I used to open up at 5 o'clock. There's nobody in this pub when I open up. I unlock that door.
Yeah.
Liza and Dave was not here. I open up, they've gone on holiday.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling round me. And I go to serve, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
But there was a figure there. And I say, what do you want? And it just goes like that.
I love it.
Yeah, it does.
I believe it. It's true. It's fact.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. But all these years that we've been doing it,
Then
now
I've
you're
come in
flaming
before,
well.
and
Wow.
the taps just come on, just like that. Because you're calling, you have to pull it, and it's just running like that. That's twice it's happened.
There you go. So guys, if you
Well, she must have been thirsty.
She is there. If you want a haunted pub that sells extremely good ale, come and see Steve and Wendy at the Welcome Tavern in Belper. How many sceptics have we got amongst us? Come on, fellas, it's the spirits behind the bar you've come for tonight, rather. Girls, no such thing as ghosts. It's a load of bollocks you're ever in your life.
I've got to say.
Nothing wrong with scepticism. It's cynicism. The problem was a phrase. Lots of phrases I'll give you. One of them. To the believer, no proof is necessary. To the cynic, no proof is possible. And that's rubbish. That's ridiculous. Because another phrase. Go through the night. Today's magic will be tomorrow's science. Think about these things. Right, okay, next question. How many people in this room tonight, or in this pub tonight, have seen a ghost?
I've not seen one.
Seen a ghost! Seen a ghost! Seen a ghost! Seen a ghost. Okay, how many people have heard a ghost? How many people have sensed a ghost? How many people have felt a ghost, or been felt by a ghost? How many people have smelled a ghost? Now, guys, do you realise how many more hands have gone up? Because most people say, have you seen a ghost? Yeah, seen them, heard them, felt them, smelled them. The senses, and they don't all come in. If you see it, you might not hear it. If you sense it, you might not smell it, and so on and so on. Now, I must tell you before we go any further, last time I did a talk in Belt, it was at the Lion, it was for Derbyshire, it's for Derbyshire young farmers. Oh, God. And anyway, I asked all those questions, same questions I've just asked you, but I asked a sixth question, which was the biggest mistake of my life. Because I then went on to say, has anybody in this audience ever had sex with a ghost?
Working.
No. Listen.
That's Matt!
I don't feel it.
There was an old guy at the back. Old guy at the back, cloth hat, pair of green wellies, stuck his hand up. They all sniggered, turned round, looked at him. They knew him, obviously.
No,
he went bright red in the face, as you can well imagine. And I'm standing on this stupid little stage, thinking, wishing the ground had swallowed me up. Thinking, how am I going to cope with this? So I grabbed the nettle, grasped the nettle. So I looked him straight in the eyes and I says, mate, you're honestly telling us that you've had sex with a ghost? He says, hey, help me out, Duck, I'm ever so sorry, I thought they said a goat. Nothing wrong with the goat at all. It was still hanging offence in 1833. Oh yeah, anyway, enough now it's not, no. Enough of that. What I'm going to try and do is explain to you the reality behind ghosts. Right, now, question before we go any further. You come tonight because I'm going to talk about ghosts, right? What does the word mean, ghost? You're interested, a lot of people are fascinated by it. G-H-O-S-T. What's it? Spirit? Thank you very much, sir. Spirit. And you think, come on, what's the word mean? We're all absolutely fascinated by the whole thing. All of these films, paranormal activity, all the Poltergeist, this, that, the other, we're fascinated by all the word. Go. So when I wrote the book, On sale only 99
No discount.
Look, I thought, it's called What is a Ghost? So I thought I'd better try and explain what the word means. Ghost. Right. Okay, Oxford English Dictionary. The disembodied spirit or soul of a dead person. Sorry, rubbish. No, it isn't. Absolute crap. I'm going to change the dictionary. The word ghost comes from a Proto-Indo-European word, 3,000 years old, goized. G-H-O-I-D-Z. Guess what it means? You won't. We haven't got all night, so I'll tell you. Goized means to be frightened of. Oh my God, that is, yeah. So basically, anything we don't understand, that throws something off the mantelpiece, walks through the wall, footsteps going up the stairs, but there's nobody that you can see, bumps, bangs, crashes, thumps, touches you in the night, we're frightened of it. And it's right, okay, now, from that word, goized, G-H-O-I-D-Z, came the Middle English word, gost, G-O-S-T, the Old English word, gast, the Saxon, German, geist, which was where your poltergeist comes from, the Flemish word, they all mean the same thing, right? When William Caxton came over to England in the 1400s with his printing press, from Holland, he took the Middle English word, gost, G-O-S-T, but he spelt it with a silent H, which is the Flemish way of spelling it, and we got our ghost. Wind back. Think of this, the Old English word, ghast. Have you ever been aghast at something? Have you ever seen something ghastly? He's ahead of me. Think about it. Guys, honestly, that's it. Guys, we're in the Middle Ages still. Things that we don't understand, that we're frightened of, and we call it a ghost. That's it. I mean, I'd like to change the name from ghost to energy. It's an energy source that leaves your body on point of death and goes somewhere. Please don't ask me where, because I can't tell you. Up there, heaven, down there, no, this dimension, this spiritual plane, this spiritual level, this frequency, that energy. The first, any scientists amongst us, one, oh God help me, all right, listen. The first law of thermodynamics is that you can neither create nor destroy energy. So in other words, that energy that's inside you, when that vessel dies that holds that energy and rots away, that energy has to go somewhere. And I don't know where, but that's beside the point. So that's what the whole thing... Right, I'm now going to start with the whole damn thing about ghosts. I'm going to keep calling them ghosts, because that's what we're into. Energies doesn't sound quite the same. It's not as scary, it's not as good. So we're talking about ghosts. Right, here it is. 40% of ghosts, and I'm going to keep calling them ghosts, is an intelligence, is the spirit and soul of a dead person that leaves your body on point of death and goes somewhere. And most of them go to where they should go to. And I still don't know where it is. But some of them, for some reason, don't go. In other words, do you realise how many people have died on this planet since lifestyle? A lot. That'll do, a lot. Okay, where's their ghosts? Every time the wind blows, is that 20,000 ghosts going by you? Yeah. Every time it gets foggy, is that... No. Because most of them, the spirit, the soul, the energy, the intelligence that knows you're there, that can interact with you, can come back if you need them, in time of crisis, in trouble, can come and see the grandkids if you never saw them, all of that sort of thing. Most of them have actually gone to wherever they should go to, but there are some that are still around, and they're around for a reason.
Why?
Reason number one, they've got unfinished business. They were murdered, nobody found the murderer. They were executed for a crime they didn't commit. They had a job, a hobby, a lifetime expectation to finish something that they never finished. And misguidedly, they're still around because they're trying to finish it. 300 years on, they still think the murderer might be found, which is ridiculous because it ain't going to happen because the murderer's dead as well. But they've got unfinished business and they're still there for that reason. Right, there's another phrase you must think about if you're into ghosts, laid to rest. Do you realise how important that was for people in the olden days when there were more ghosts? They needed to be laid to rest. That's 6 foot of English earth, gravestone with your name on it, family around the grave, Christian burial service to lay you to rest. If you're not at rest, where are you? You're abroad, you're around, you're a ghost, for want of a better word, and you need help. So number one, unfinished business. Number two, don't know they're dead. Kids. teenagers, whole of your life in front of you still, cut off in an instant. Nature of the death causes ghosts. We're talking of soldiers on battlefields, blown to pieces, Battle of the Somme, all this, like, vaporised with shells, blown to bits. Airman, on a young lad, 18-year-old airman, trainee pilot, makes a mistake, his Spitfire turns over, he screams into the ground at 350 miles an hour, smash into the ground. Doesn't even get time to blink, never mind prepare himself for death. And the poor lad spends the rest of eternity walking across the apron of the airfield, always in the same direction, towards the control tower, for help, for orders. He arrives, the windows have gone, there's weeds growing up, the operations board's empty, but he walks in going, is the horse still on? Yeah, I know it's a bad landing, but, you know, can I have another go? Can I have another Spitfire? He doesn't know he's dead, and he needs help to set him, and he's trapped here because of the nature of his death that hasn't caused him to prepare himself. That's number 2. Number 3, and this is the one for here. They like it here. They've stayed behind because they like it. I say this is why when Steve told me about Martha.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, the ghost, she's there, that's her picture there, that still haunts this place. I was so interested in the whole damn thing when he tells me this. Because basically, the number of... And this is usually where someone here tonight will probably start nodding, smiling, turn to the person next to them. The number of houses that have got ghosts in them of the previous owner, or the owner that was there 3-4 families ago, that still thinks they own the place and are concerned. The number of builders, demolition men, decorators, plumbers, electricians, carpenters that see ghosts when they're disturbing the building. The old lady in the cottage, it was her cottage, she loved it, it was her pride and joy. She died, before she died, the kids are off hand, got a bit of money, spent it, had a new bathroom, some new wallpaper, lovely Victorian pink, heavy flock wallpaper in the bed. It was a pride and joy. Everybody, she loved it. The grandkids used to go and have a look, they loved her. She dies, she don't move on. She stays behind because it's her house. And then the builders come in and they start knocking a wall out. The decorator comes in and starts stripping the wallpaper, and the old gal's really not happy at what's happening in her house. And she starts moving things, chucking things around. And I get phone calls from people frequently. Look, we've got this house, we bought it 2 years ago. No ghost rope daft like that. But about 3 months ago, the kids have started to get disturbed in the bedroom. They see this old lady, and she's not happy, and she moves things, she's destroying things. And the first thing I say to them is, well, just tell me, are you doing any work in the house? Oh, yeah, funnily enough, it coincides with when she started to appear. Yeah, we're having a wall knocked out, we're having an extension put in, and we're having that awful wallpaper taken off the bedroom. It's her wallpaper, it's her bedroom. She thinks she still lives. And then I go on from there and I say, Fred, 45 years at the same factory, same machine, never married, first in the morning, last out at night, work weekends, dies 2 weeks after he's dead. His mate starts to see his ghost standing by his machine. It's his machine. It was his pride and joy, and he's still... And then the next thing I say then, George, the landlord of the pub, 45, 50 years, landlord of the pub, his pub, best beer in town, blah-de-blah-de-blah, dies, doesn't move on, stays behind. And I am convinced already, with what Steve's been telling me, and other people already, that Martha, the ex-landlady of this place, who was living in the 50s and 60s, is still here. She's not moved on. This is her pub. She sometimes, when new people come in, and the number of things Steve's telling me about what's happening here already, you won't believe it. Since they moved in, there's a new person coming, and they're almost keeping an eye to make sure that you're now running her pub as she thinks it should be run. Is the beer good enough? Are they treating the... guys, I'm not talking Scooby-Doo here, I'm talking facts. I'm talking reality behind the whole damn thing. So, and in a bit, I'm going to have to do a bit of a seance, see if we can get it.
Oh, God, do it. I'll reach your board again.
Okay, so, we've got unfinished business, we've got... They don't know they're dead. Next one, they like it here, and then the big one. This is my absolute pet at the moment. I've got a question for you guys. Have you ever heard of the ghost of a caveman? Oh. Think about it.
Oh, sure, go on.
Right, Mirror on Sunday, you know, big headlines. Cavemen, no, it's not true. Potholers break into the cave, and they see this guy in the cave, and he's got long hair and bare skins all over. And he's dragging his wife by her hair across the floor. He's got a club in one hand, and he suddenly disappears through the wall of the cave. He doesn't know. Anybody ever heard of a caveman ghost? No, how strange. Right, next question. So down there, a long time ago, prehistory, no ghosts, or not many. But since then, oh, Romans and Saxons and Vikings and medieval and Tudors and Stuarts and Victorians and Edward... Stop. Next question. Has anybody here ever heard of the ghost of a young lad wearing a hoodie, smoking a joint, with his backside hanging out of his jeans, walking through a council house wall?
Never.
So nowadays, today, there ain't many ghosts today. But something happened 2,000 years ago that's created one hell of a lot of ghosts. Anybody got any ideas?
Roman Empire.
Conservative Party.
Oh, you know,
Jesus. Thank you, sir. You've got it. You did it. Right. 2,000 years ago, the Emperor Constantine, Roman Emperor, pagan. See, we've always... So lots of people say, oh, religion. I say, no, not religion. Because we've always had religion. Always had religion. I mean, we used to worship the sun god. And he, there's always a he, of course, he was the bringer of life. We worshipped the sun god. And all of a sudden, around October time, he decided to go away. And life started to stop. Everything stopped growing. So we rushed out and lit bonfires to try and entice us. That was where Halloween came from. That's all it is. Nothing more than that. Nothing sinister. And the bonfires were to try and attract the sun god back. 4,000 years ago, there was a religion on this planet that celebrated a fertility festival every year called, and it was always around Easter time. Wrong, sorry, it was all around April. It was called Ishtar, I-S-H-T-A, and it was a fertility celebration, and they had bunny rabbits and eggs. That's 4,000 years before Christianity came on the scene. Ishtar. We nicked the lot, basically. Anyway, 2,000 years ago, the Emperor Constantine, his mum was St. Helen, Christian, realised that this new form of religion was going somewhere, and he realised it would be a good way of keeping us under control, not with his swords and his spears, but through fear. So he nicked the Christian church, called it the Roman Church, and invented all of the terrors that have kept us under control for the best part of 2,000 years. You ready? 10 Commandments, 7 deadly sins, 4 mortal sins, purgatory, Judgment Day, hellfire, damnation, Beelzebub, Baal, the devil, demons, the Antichrist, and witches. Medieval man was terrifying. Absolutely bloody terrible. Some of us still are. Right. So you imagine, you've broken one of the 10 Commandments. You're a sinner. Where are you going to go? You've committed a mortal sin. Where are you going to go? Do not pass go. Straight to hell and burn in hellfire. How long? Hellfire? Eternity? How hot? 10,000 degrees centigrade with gnashing of teeth and ripping of flesh and all the terrors of dances in front. People were terrified. So they've committed a sin, they're going to burn it. So basically, they know full well that St. Peter ain't going to open the gates of heaven for them. They're certainly not going to burn in hell, so mate, I'll probably stay here, thanks. Think about it, the old gal who loved the house, the cottage so much, can stay behind because she liked the wallpaper in the bedroom. I'm sure some guy can stay behind because he's terrified of burning in hell at 10,000 degrees centigrade. And I swear to you guys, it has created a lot of ghosts. By the way, I can't prove any of this. I don't have the tiniest bit of proof that ghosts exist. I can't get my fingers close. Oh look, they're touching. That's the proof I've got. No. I have no proof that ghosts exist whatsoever. But I can give you a little bit. Right, okay. A bit of proof about this. It's not close.
She's here.
It's not closing time yet, is it?
There are some orders.
Right, suicide. Suicide. The worst crime against God, known as self-murder. Punishable by burning in hell, 10,000 degrees centigrade, yeah? Until 1823 in this country, suicides were not allowed to be buried in consecrated ground in a churchyard. All suicides in Great Britain were taken to the crossroads and buried at the crossroads with a wooden stake hammered through the heart into the ground, no coffin, shroud, 6 foot underground. It's hammered. This is where your Dracula nonsense comes from, right? Suicide through the heart, and a huge flat stone on top of the face, and then why? It was to hold them into the ground. Do remember, guys, it was the body of Christ that rose from the grave. So this stake in the ground was holding them into the ground because they knew that they wouldn't be at rest because they're not going up there, they're not going down there. They knew they'd rise from the grave, right? So we've got some guy that committed suicide, dead in his coffin, not his coffin, didn't have a coffin, in his shroud, 6 foot under, and he wants to get out because he's not happy. Right? So first he's got to get the stake out. This is a dead person, by the way. Out comes the stake. Dead person can do this, no problem. That's what they believe. Oh Christ, I've got a stone on my face. So it's not very tight in the grave. So I've got to get the stone. Gets the stone off his face, and then he rises from the grave, 6 foot out through all the soil, and he gets out, right? And all the soil's falling off, and he said, "Whew, that's a bit better." If he was buried at the crossroads, he'd be confused. He'd be confused and not know which road to take, and always remain at the crossroads and never bother anybody in the bit. This is crap, but people believe. Right. In the 1640s, when the Civil War was on in this country, the average amount of information that a working person took in their lifetime, we take in now in 1 week. I'm not saying they were feeble-minded, I'm saying there was nothing in their mind. All they got in their minds was creation of children, going to work, and the afterlife. Am I going up or am I going down? Death was commonplace. Death was not the problem. Most people were dead by 40. Many of their children had predeceased them. They'd been in battles, they'd seen executions. Death was not the problem. It was where I went next, up or down. And that was the terror that the church played on to keep people to keep them in line. And that was the bit. And this is the suicide bit. It proves it. Next bit. They used to, from 1752, there was 222 hanging offences in this country. The crime rate had exploded, and the government, most crimes were committed against the landowners of this country, who were the rulers. So they decided the best thing to do, with the church, is to make the punishment fit the crime. Because you could be hanged for poaching, right? So you got a lad from round here that he got 11 kids, right? He was out of work, and he had to raid Lord so-and-so's estate for a few pheasants or rabbits to feed the kids, to keep them alive. That was a hanging offence. And you've also got a guy from not far from here, from Hulland Ward, who actually hacked his niece and nephew to death with a gorsehawk. I'm not sure what a gorsehawk is, it doesn't sound very nice to me, but he hacked him to death, chopped the little boy's head off. He was only 3 years of age, little kid. Now, he deserved to be hanged. But the guy that pinched the rabbits from Lord Scarsdale's estate, he was the kids. Now, that was wrong. So the church came up with this brilliant idea of making the punishment fit the crime. And in 1752 they passed the Murder Act, which stated that no murderer was allowed to be buried. Ooh, no laid to rest for me. No closure, as the Americans call it. But hang on, what are we going to do with the body? Went a stage farther. When the judge passed sentence of death, and that you'll be taken back from this place and hanged by the neck until you are dead, and may the Lord have mercy upon your soul. Well, the judge didn't say that to the murderer. He just said, you will be hanged by the neck until you are dead, and then you will be publicly dissected in the Shire Hall in St Mary's Gate in Derby. That means that after death, you were taken back to Shire Hall, laid on a table and dissected, just like we did at school with toads and frogs and everything removed, right? Your bones boiled in a big cauldron in the Shire Hall to get the meat off them. Don't ask me what they did with the meat. Well, I will tell you in a minute. Meat taken off, bones boiled, wired up, and presented to the local infirmary. Most old skeletons in infirmaries and hospitals are of hanged people. Your skin was flayed, was taken off and taken to the local tannery in Full Street in Derby and tanned and used to bind books telling of your life and trial. If there was a big enough piece, possibly from the thigh, a pair of slippers could be made for the local mayor. A souvenir. Right. Punchline. Right. Are you ready? Laid to rest, blah, blah, no laid to rest for you, all that. But the big one was, the body wasn't whole. And that meant that on the day of judgment, no physical resurrection for you. And where are you going to go? Straight to hell. This is why they did it. They were punishing you beyond death. And this is what's kept prisons like Derby Jail that I run full, I'm not kidding, of ghosts that have stayed behind because they're terrified of moving on because they don't want to burn in hell. These are a little bit, right, the last little bit about the facts. When they chopped the king's head off in 1649, that's Charles I, before they buried the king, guess what they did? No. No. They stitched his head back on his body. Excuse me. Why would we stitch him? Because he was the king. He was God's anointed on this planet. A little God, put here by God, yeah, to rule us until he died, and then he'd have a nice little golden throne up there, very close to God's apparently. So, if his head wasn't on his body wouldn't be whole, and he wouldn't get into heaven. And we didn't want to send the king to hell. We wanted to kill him, but we don't want to send him to hell. So the bill from the surgeon that stitched the head back on is still preserved in the House of Commons. I've seen a painting of the dead king lying on a table, and you can see the stitch marks all the way around his neck where it's stitched there. Right, okay, we know why. Right, when Oliver Cromwell took over for 13 years and then died, King Charles II came back. The Restoration, that's the king's son. One of the first things he did was rounded up all of the blokes that signed his dad's death warrant and put them on trial for regicide. Regicide isn't killing Reggie. Regicide is killing the king. Punishable by being hanged, drawn and quartered. Body not whole means you're going to go to hell, right? Half of them were dead, a quarter of them had fled to France, and a quarter of them were rounded up, sentenced to death and hanged, drawn and quartered. Right, but Oliver Cromwell had been dead for 3 years. No matter. They went to Westminster Abbey, where he was buried, dug up the 3-year-old dead body of Oliver Cromwell, took it to Westminster Hall in London, sat it in a chair and put it on trial for regicide. They found Oliver Cromwell's 3-year-old dead body guilty of regicide. So they took his body to Tyburn in London, which is their Marble Arches, where all the hangings took place, hanged the body for 24 hours, took it down, chopped off his head, stuck his head on the spike on London Bridge, took his body 20 miles away to a cesspit and chucked it in a cesspit, because they believed, to remember what was in their minds, not much, right, apart from heaven and heaven, they believed that although he'd been dead for 3 years, there's probably no time in the spirit world, and they might just catch his spirit before he got through the pearly gates and send it to hell. What a load of bollocks. Yeah, no, that was in their mind. That's what was in the psyche of people in those days that have become ghosts because they're so terrified of the teachings of the church. And it's created ghosts. And I'm talking reality now, not silly. Right, one thing I must tell you is that ghosts are not the profession of a ghost, if it had one, wouldn't be to scare you. They're not there to get you. They were human beings once, like you and me. But they're there for a reason. Some of them need help. Some of them need to say, look, trust me, you can move on from here, you know. Martha, you can go from here if you want, you know, you don't have to say. But she probably stays because she wants to. And if they want to, by all means, let them. But I get phone calls from people saying, the kid that's bothering us, you know, what can I do? I said, well, don't get the church in, for God's sake, for God's sake. No exorcisms, no begone evil demons, splashing your evil water, your holy water and all that. That's bully boy tactics. I say, look, stand in the middle of the building, the pub or the house, preferably alone, and say, look, love, and I know you're still here, and you shouldn't be really, but if you're quite happy here, don't mind. But look, I'm paying the mortgage now. It's my house now. Stay if you want, but stop bothering the kids. And I swear to you, it can work. I mean it, it really can work. Because they know what's going on, they're listening to us. Martha, I think, is probably listening to us now. Right, that's 40%. That's the spirit and soul of a dead person, an intelligence that knows you're there, that can be around you. I must tell you a couple of things, because people say to me, where'd you get all this from? How do you know? Why? Who are you? I'm not an expert. I'm just a bloke that I talk to people. In the last 23 years, we've taken 1.5 million people on a ghost course. It wasn't always 21 quid. It started at £6. Anyway. And I talk to people, and people talk to me, and they tell me their stories or accounts, and that's where I get most of it. A couple of them, I say, right, I was doing a ghost walk one night, and there was this young lady on the ghost walk. She says, my first house was haunted. 24 Stanley Street, it's just off Ashbourne Road. She says, I moved in, bought this terraced house, and I'll be honest with you, I couldn't pay the mortgage, it was too much on my own, so I took 2 girlfriends in, and they had a room each. Everything was fine. She said there was a ghost in it, and I'm pretty sure it was the old lady that used to live in it. And I said, oh, you've read the book out? She said, no, why? I said, well, that's in that. Exactly the same story. She said, no, I've never met you before. Okay. I said, carry on. She said, well, I'll tell you what happened. She said everything was all right until one of the 2 young ladies started bringing a lad back for the night. Not having that going on in my house, right? Yeah, okay. So she's 2 of them in bed, about 3:30 in the morning, as if someone's throwing the wardrobe round the room, frightened them to death. 2 of them sat bolt upright in bed, light on, looking round. Nothing out of place. Absolutely nothing out of place anywhere. The 2 of them sat up there, and all of a sudden, in between the 2 of them, they hear this voice say, this used to be my bedroom. She said he was gone, starkers, clothes under his arm, outside, drove off, never came back, never saw him again. She says, but I'll be honest with you, it got worse when the same young lady decided to set the bedroom pink. In other words, I don't want my bedroom pink. I'm happy with it as if she's still there. Honest to God, these are ordinary, down-to-earth people like you guys here tonight telling me their ghost stories, making fools of themselves. They're not, but telling me these stories. And I swear to you guys that I've spoken to too many people that have had experience. Now, I'll tell you a very interesting one. 35% of children under the age of 5 have imaginary friends, as we call it. Anybody still got them? Well, yeah. No, guys, they're not. Their minds are open. They've got very little in their minds, and their minds are open, and they see things that we don't as we grow older, because we start cramming our minds with other things, like Pythagoras' theorem and the bank account numbers and the worries that you've got. More people see ghosts when they're on holiday than they do normally, because their minds are open, because they've forgotten all the worries and the troubles and everything else, and people see ghosts when they go on holiday much, much more than people do when they're going about their everyday work. So people just keep giving me their stories over and over and over and over again, and they're reality stories. They're not silly ghost stories. It's real. I swear to you. Right, so oh yeah, this is the bit I was going to tell you. So kids see ghosts, right? Lots of ghosts. And you get so many stories of little girl, you know, of 4 years, Mummy, why does that old lady come into my bedroom at night? Mummy, why does that old lady sit at the end of my bed and smile at me? They're not, oh, Mummy, there's a ghost, there's a ghost. No, it's the norm to them. It's the norm. And Mummy can't do, oh, it's got a bit of imagination. That's how we're dealing with it. And then Christmas comes round, and the photograph albums come out, And all of a sudden, a little, Mummy, there, that's the lady that comes in. Oh my God, it's her grandma. Little girl's 4. Grandma's been dead for 7 years. Happens over and over and over and over again. And only a few weeks ago, lady, in fact, let me try and get the story right. Lady on the ghost walk, she was telling me she was married, she had a little boy with her husband. They split up, divorced, and she married again. And the little boy of about 5 came to the wedding. End of story. Wedding over, honeymoon, he didn't go on a honeymoon, everything was great, end of story. Then, when her dad was dead, his dad had been at the first wedding, of course, but the second wedding, dad was dead, Tom. And then Christmas comes round, and they're going through the photographs, and all of a sudden this little boy says, "Oh, look, Mummy, there's that man that walked you down the aisle." There's a dad. Oh, I mean, come on, guys. He's going to make up silly things like that? No, I don't think so. I believe it. Right, so I've dealt with 40% of ghosts. What about the other 60% of ghosts? There we go, part 2. 60% of ghosts is nothing more than a recording.
Yes.
Held in the fabric of the building.
Oh, yeah.
Caused by trauma, tragedy, emotion and energy. It's called the stone tape theory. Castles, stately homes, old pubs full of... They're huge stone tape recorders that hold a recording usually of traumatic, not necessarily, it can be happy, but usually traumatic events such as death that are actually held in the fabric of the building, and we see it again. Right, okay, ready. Sandstone, limestone, granite, clay, bricks, quartz, crystal, glass, porcelain, sand, cement, concrete, bone, all made of silica. The whole of the Earth's crust is made up of silica. Half the Earth's crust is made up of oxygen, which is negative. The other half of the Earth's crust is made up of silicon, which is positive. And when the two come together, they create silicon dioxide, SiO2, silica. So, what's your microchips made of in your computer? What sort of chips are they? Oven chips? Potato chips?
Silicon chips.
Silicon chips. What do they hold? Data. Information. Memory. Hang on, I'm halfway there. Right, okay. The redder the sandstone in the building, the redder the clay in the ground, the redder the bricks, the more iron oxide there is in it, which is rust, which is magnetic. Who'd have thought 150 years ago I could get a piece of sticky tape, acetate, silica tape, so it's a semiconductor, yeah, sprinkled iron oxide particles onto it, which stuck to it, and I could record on it. It's a cassette. It's a video. Is that mini DV or is that digital?
It's a bit digital.
Digital.
Oh well, okay. Back to mini DV. It's the same properties as there is in a brick wall or a stone wall. You can record onto a cassette tape. You can record on a video tape. But what do I need to make the recording in the video camera or on the cassette recorder? There's a light on it. What's inside that causes all those arrows to go in the same direction to hold the recording?
Magnetism.
Well, there's a word goes in front of magnetism.
Electromagnetism.
Electricity, energy.
That's brilliant.
Energy. Energy. Right. Okay. Now look, we know where the energy comes from to make the recording on the cassette tape. Where does the energy come from to make the recording into the brick wall, stone wall?
Earth's energy.
Us. No, us.
Us.
Each one of us in here to now emits 2 kilowatts of electricity in a 24-hour period. Not at this moment, but in a 24-hour cycle, you emit 2 kilowatts of electricity. Each one of us is a 2-bar electric fire. No wonder it's getting hot in here. Right. Now, but you have within you a power reservoir that you can use in time of crisis. I'm sure you've heard stories of a woman lifting a car
Oh, yes,
off a
yeah,
child.
many a
Right,
time.
how about this one, right? About 17 years ago in Afghanistan, young lad, Royal Marine, driving a Land Rover front of a convoy, blown up by an IED. The Land Rover turns over, rolls down the bank and lands upside down in the stream. He's still alive, he's seriously injured, he's alive, but he's strapped in and he's drowning. Single-handedly, a Royal Marine sergeant in the next vehicle jumps out the vehicle, runs down the bank, grabs hold of the Land Rover, and pulls the Land Rover out of the stream on his own. Oh, come on, guys. No, it's true, it's in the Daily Mirror.
I believe it.
It's true, the lad's alive, and the Royal Marine Sergeant was given an award for saying he cannot remember doing it, because it's not possible. That 2-ton Land Rover, upside down, seriously. You know, if it was on its wheels, I could just about say possible. No, it's upside down. Right, sorry darling, another one. 23 years ago, Alveston, Derby, Saturday afternoon, young copper, standing on the street corner, on duty, when a motorbike comes screaming down round a bend and loses it. And the bike flips, and the biker's still on it, and it's screaming towards this copper on the spot, and he's standing there, he's about to die. It's going to hit him. Just before it hit him, a Ford Cortina comes round the bend, hits the bike, wham! Lands on top of it, copper's going, no really, he saved his life. And then he looks and he realises there's 4 men inside the Cortina and the lad is on the bike underneath the Ford Cortina. That's when he sees the smoke coming out the engine. And that's when the copper runs across the road and grabs hold of the Ford Cortina and lifts it up on his own. And a lad on the side of the road runs across the road and drags the lad out from underneath it. He then drops it, it rolls backwards and hits a wall, and then they get the 4 blokes out. Now, I spoke to him last year. He's been in Spain for 22 years. He left the police force. And he says the number of times... His words to me were, mate, it was featherlight. He says the number of times I've been ribbed over the last 22 years. I mean, mates, come on, car park, see you do it. He says I can't do it, but I did do it because I needed to do it. And he's summoned on this. In time of crisis, you can do superhuman things. Right, what's the most critical thing, tragic thing, critical thing that's ever going to happen to you? Thank you. I don't mean 93 years of age in a nursing home with your family around you. I'm talking about the 5 ingredients that create a recorded haunting in a building. Murder, suicide, accidents, battles and executions. The energy that your body is capable of, the adrenaline and the 2 kilowatts of electricity that you can summon in time of crisis to keep you alive is the energy source, the battery, that causes the recording of you to be held in the fabric of the building. Question. Why aren't all ghosts stark naked?
Good point.
For the end of the ghost business, would it? Would it? I don't know. How can you see the ghost of my jumper? It's because that's how I was dressed when the recording was made. That's why you see the Roman soldiers walking through the cellar of Treasurer's house, most famous ghost, because they were dressed like that. If I was to say, right, no more ghosts, I'm going to change that now, we're going to have a John Wayne film, cowboy film. Would you all run out the building and say, oh my God, look, forget the Exorcist, we've just seen the ghost of John Wayne in here. No, it's the image of a dead person. And we call it a ghost. It can't interact with you. It doesn't go, ah! When it sees you, you do, but it just carries on walking through the bit as it's done over and over and over and over again as the recording's being played. You see it, it's the image of a dead person, and you think it's a ghost. And you're frightened of it. Of course you are, because you don't understand why you're seeing it. It's nothing more than a recording that's held in the building. Right, now with this silica, sandstone, limestone, all that stuff, and energy. Water plays a huge... If I live long enough, my next book is going to be called Toilet Ghosts. The number of haunted toilets there are. But they weren't always the toilet. You don't think the toilets 200 years ago here, but that wasn't the toilet. It was outside against the bush. But it's water, it's energy. And basically, water plays the number of haunted sites that are wet or damp. Marshland, rivers, lakes, wells, bathrooms, toilets, showers have got ghosts in them. It's energy, it's water. Water contains silica. When it rains, the water flows over the mountains and it absorbs the silica from the clay, the sandstone, the limestone and the granite. Next time you buy a bottle of spring water, which you will be doing tomorrow morning, those of us that are slightly getting on in years, you will be buying it. The best one over here is Volvic. Volvic, right, remember, I'm not on commission yet, I'm working on it. Right, spring water contains silica, right? We are made up of 75% water, right? We contain more silica in our bodies than we do iron. Our hard drive, our memory source, our brain is made up of 85% water. Right, punchline. As we grow older, we don't retain as much silica in our bodies as we did when we were young. And what do we lose? Our memory. They've been experimenting in France for 18 years, adding extra silica into the water of elderly people, and they've reduced the degenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's, by 14%. Oh my God! Yeah, honest to God, I honestly, genuinely think I'm on to it. You see, I'm trying to provide a rational explanation for this ghost business rather than the Scooby-Doo nonsense. And I honestly think I'm onto something with this water, silica, sand, recordings, all of this sort of stuff that makes up a big percentage of ghosts. There's no getting away from it. Last little bit, because we're getting... Right. You're the only scientist amongst us, right? Science won't have it. Science will not have the fact that there are ghosts. And the fascinating thing for me is that we are actually... Today's magic will be tomorrow's science. When I go home tonight, my keys aren't here. When I go home tonight, down my long drive, which is a third of a mile, and I get to the bottom of my drive, and I'll press a button. And my gates will come open on their own. What would someone have thought of that 100 years ago? Have I got two ghostly gatekeepers waiting for me to open my... It's got to be ghosts, hasn't it?
Of course.
Poltergeists, right? We're all frightened of poltergeists. They're scared. It's energy. It's usually to do with prepubescent children that are suffering from a Kevin and Perry syndrome. Honestly, the energy from them can cause things to move. We are not that far away from Star Wars and use the Force. We are mentally capable with the energy from us of making things move. I will try in a few minutes and demonstrate how it can be done. Right, we'll see what happens. But it's an energy thing. Right, back to the script. Science won't have it. No such things as ghosts, right? There's things called time slips, where people can actually see things from the past. I don't think you can see things from the future, but I do think you can see things from the past, right? Next time a scientist tells you there's no such thing as ghosts, that's a guy with letters after his name. How many letters have you got after your name?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Quite a few letters after your name. Quote this to him, will you? For the last 400 years, men with letters after their names, astronomers, have looked into the night sky through their telescopes looking at ghosts. Because by the time the image of that dead star travels the millions of light years to the end of his telescope, he's looking at something that no longer exists. The ghost of something that once lived. But there's no such thing as ghosts, so... Oh yes, there are. Trust me. We're going to have a little séance in a few minutes and see if we can get. Was it? A couple of things. I'm going to just have a little. I want to try to. Oh, sorry. Oh, guys. Sorry. Listen. Sorry. Just the last bit. there's a thing called the death flash, and they reckon that as death is taking place, the energy that is emitted from the body is 1,000 times greater than as you're going about your normal day. And when a bullet or a sword or an axe smashes into bone, it creates piezoelectricity, which is the same thing as quartz crystals.
Yeah, you're right.
And I have a crystal. I'm going to see if it works here. This is a dowsing crystal. Right? People have doused with dowsing rods, and that's usually 2 bent coat hangers, right? Looking for oil, looking for water, looking for precious gold. They've been doing this for hundreds of years. Elephants walk hundreds of miles and then suddenly stop and start digging with their trunks, and they find water. This is real. This isn't paranormal crap, it's real. Uri Geller, the bloke that he made his millions by dowsing for oil with one of these, which is a dowsing crystal on a map. He didn't even go to Texas. And this is fact. Now, this is an extremely large, and the reason I do it like this is because people can see it properly and it's good for telling. I've broken the wire, so but basically, all you do is you have to talk. This is crap. You have to talk to it, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And all you ask it can only answer certain questions. It can only give you yes or no. You can't say, "Is there a ghost in here?" Yes, there's a ghost. Her name is Martha. It doesn't work like that. But you can say, "Is there a ghost in here called Martha?" It give you yes. Now you have to decide yourself what sign you want for yes or no. And for me, yes is going in a clockwise direction, and no. So in other words, yes is going like that. And no is going like that. Okay. So what you do is you hold it very still, and you talk to it, and you say. Now, first thing you got to notice, guys, I cannot keep my arm completely still. It's moving, isn't it?
Yeah.
It ain't going in any direction until I talk to it. And I say, give me yes. I want yes. I want you to go in a clockwise direction, and I want you to give me yes. I now want you to stop.
It went.
And I want you to give me no. I want you to give me my no, which is an anti-clockwise direction. I want you to give me no.
It's going. Agreed?
Hang on. The biggest problem is keeping your bloody arm still. It's a killer. That's probably even more. Right, okay. I want you to do it again. I want you to stop. I want you to give me yes. Probably you've never failed me yet, have you?
It won't fail you, Richard.
You can see I'm not. I mean, I can't keep. Right, stop. I'm going to ask you some questions now. Is my name George?
No. That looks like a no to me.
Is my name Peter? Is my name Richard?
Trying to turn this uncooperative ghost.
Were you recording it? Were you
Is, okay, we've done that. Do I live in Northampton? Do I live in Nottingham? Do I live in Derbyshire? Can I see Crouch Stand from my house? And stop. Am I wearing pink underwear tonight? For that. Now look, guys, I know all those answers. Yeah. See, so, but you can see I'm not moving. Hang on, I can move it, right? Is my name King George III? I'm doing that now. You can see I'm doing it.
You weren't doing it before.
Hey? But I want to, honest to God. Right, so it's awesome. Right, now come on. Here we go. Are you ready? Is there a lady that still stays here that, for want of a better word, haunts this place? I don't like using it. Is there a lady called Martha here that used to be the landlady? Is Martha still here in this pub?
That's going round that way. It's saying yes.
And stop. Martha, are you here tonight? Are you listening to me now? Are you absolutely disgusted with what I've been talking about all night? Are you disgusted with what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're alright.
She's neither one thing or the other, is she?
No.
Are you here? Can you hear me? Martha, can you hear me now?
Yeah, she can hear you. She can hear you.
Alright, we'll do it. Would you be, you know, in a minute, Martha, I'm going to do a bit of what we call a seance. I'm sure you know all about it. Will you come through and talk to us?
She wants a drink. My
Well, she's saying yes.
Right, I know. I mean, honestly, it's not a fake. I mean, it's real. It's absolutely right. Next thing, right? Long time ago, writing a book, not this book, another book, and I'm reading about stone, and the energy that comes from stone. Right, it's pulsed because basically that's quartz crystal, and quartz crystal is like piezo electricity. A quartz watch can make, and it's because it's negative and positive that's pulsating. That's when you compress it. I don't know how, but it gives off energy. Mm-hmm. Right? Stone is the same thing, and I was reading this thing about the stone circles, Stonehenge. The Nine Ladies of Edale, Avebury, and it's the Avebury one. Below. This guy said he went down to Avebury and he went with his dowsing crystal and he put his hand on one of the stones and the crystal started to vibrate backwards and forwards like that, not in its normal way but round in a yes and no, and he felt a tingling in his left hand while he was doing it, and I thought, bloody hell, that sounds pretty right. So I went out into my garden and I actually live on a medieval moated site, and there's some stone from the hall that used to be there in my garden that's 1100 years old. And I went up to one of these stones and with a crystal, and I was putting my hand on it, and the bloody thing frightened me to bloody death. I was alone at home. It scared me shitless. It really did. And I thought, bloody do that. Anyway, I've done it frequently. And look, we've got a lot of stone here, including the fire. How long's that fireplace been there, Steve? 200 years? 200 years? It's a huge piece of sandstone.
What, the top bit?
Yeah, I'm going to see what happens when I put my hand on it.
You might get a chakra line.
I might get a shock from it. It's a huge piece of sandstone that's made of quartz crystal, silica. Right, in fact, when you look in a certain light, you can see the quartz crystals. Right, okay. Now, notice it's not moving. So I put my hand on it. Not on it yet. Hand off it.
It stops.
I put my hand back on it. It's like sticking your fingers in a 13-amp socket.
Quite a bit.
Take my hand off it. Put my hand on it. Bloody bonkers.
Started again.
Prepubescent children, especially girls, but boys and girls, are mentally capable of moving things. And this is, honest to God, it's a fact, it's real. And there's a thing called thought transference where you can, a lot of ghosts are actually the ghosts of living people before they died, when they're thinking of the soldiers on the battlefield, thinking of the mum. They've been seriously wounded, they're thinking of the mum, and all of a sudden during the night the image of that son appears at the foot of mum's bed. The following morning they get, or 2 days later as well, they get a telegram. He's been killed in action. But while he was thinking of his mum, the lad was still alive. And again, this is crisis apparition, it's called. Right, I don't know whether this will work, but I'm going to try. I read it in a book, and you make yourself a little umbrella out of a piece of paper. Nothing scientific like that. You have a cork or a rubber. On your gear, so you can see what you're doing. Come out. Have you got any pliers? Yeah. A needle.
A needle.
Yeah. And then you stick, for want of a better word, a needle with its prick sticking up in there. A bit like a drawing pin.
You're talking about me doing that?
That's all it is, right? And you stick it on there like that. And then you balance the paper on top of it. Now, there's a draft coming, I can tell already. There's a draft.
Breathing. Stop it.
Everybody has to stop breathing.
Oh, are you?
No, there's a
draft.
There's a draft, and we've got to stop the draft first thing. Somehow we've got to stop the draft, I don't know how.
You lady, stop farting.
Covering my breath.
Is it you?
Once it's stopped, oh you bugger.
Let's not move.
This has nothing to do with it. This is absolutely nothing to do with it. Because this is. I'm not trying to. Basically, what I'm trying to do in a minute, if it stops moving, is to move it with my energy, without touching it. But whatever draft's here, is going to.
Yeah, stop now. We're starting again.
No, that's me moving. Oh yeah.
Just that.
I think so. Yeah.
Hey, it's moving. It's moving.
Women are better at this than blokes.
Well, they always are. It's moving. Oh, did you do that? Yeah.
I don't know.
Can't get it going back.
I mean, come on. So anybody can have a go in, isn't it?
I'll have a go.
It's something, I don't know. All I'm trying to get through to you is, guys, it's something in it. It's an energy thing that we are nothing but. And that's the whole crux of the matter. And I swear to you, it goes somewhere when you die. It goes somewhere. I don't know where, I can't explain it. They tell me that your ego, that is your personality, your consciousness, you, doesn't die and it goes on to something else. And whether it occupies another body, I don't believe in the reincarnation like the Hindus believe, you know, like a production line. Newborn baby, dead person soul, newborn baby, dead person soul. But I do believe that our energy goes somewhere. But where it goes, I can't tell you that because I haven't been there yet. I'll probably get one other shock actually when it goes. That's about it, that's all. Oh, we're going to have a seance, aren't we, in a minute? We're going to do that before doing it first. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever for anybody to push this, because if you do, well, no, there's nothing in it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Secondly, if it does start to move, watch my finger come off it. Because
everyone will think that you're doing it.
Everybody will think it's me that's doing it.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely, yeah.
So it depends. So, bit of quiet, guys, just for 2 minutes. If there is anybody with us now, if there is a spirit in this fantastic old pub now, if it is Martha perhaps, or someone else, or a spirit that is still with us, I say good evening to you, Spirit. We come here only in respect for you. We have no fear, and we presume you have no fear for us. We're here because we're inquisitive and we want to know more. We'd love to know if you are here and you're with us now. We have a glass here, and we have a group of very enthusiastic, all ladies apart from me, that want to talk to you. We find that it's very easy for you to talk to us by moving the glass. All we can ask from you is to move the glass for yes and keep the glass still for no. And we can then talk to you. It's as simple as that. But if you are with us and you want to talk to us, you don't have to, but we would love you to. If you are with us and you can hear me, you can hear my voice, I just ask you to move the glass first to let me know that you're here. Move it in any direction you wish. Take your time, we've got all night. Use the collective positive energy of these good people around this table. Use their energy and cause the glass to move. I just need it to move first of all so we know you're here. You need to use our collective positive energy. No fear for you. Take your time, there's all night. But I need you to move it. Obviously this is tremendous. If that's you, you're super. Thank you. You're a super. You're a super spirit. If that is you, I need much more. I need you to use our energy, and I need you to move it across the table for me gently. Use our energy. No, it's not enough. That's not enough. That's nothing compared to
Be
what.
positive.
Yeah.
Positive. We only have positive energy, love. If you're here with us, you are, because you are moving it. But I need you to move it for me across the table a little bit. A lot more positive energy. It's easy. It's our energy that you're using. I need you to move it across the table for me. Take the glass in any direction, but move it across the table. A lot more. Come on, darling. I'm saying that. I presume this is Martha that's with us now.
Oh.
That'll probably do. Thank you for that. If that's you and you're doing it, thank you. Martha, I don't know if it's you or not, but I'm going to ask you some questions now. I need you to move it for yes. Keep it still for no. Are you a male spirit? Are you a man, a boy, or a youth? Are you a male spirit? Move it for yes, keep it still for no. Are you a male spirit that's with us now? No. Okay.
Did they change sex then?
Did they change sex?
No. Are you a female? Are you a female? Are you a female spirit? Are you a lady? A girl? Oh.
Shit. No.
There you go, no one's touching it.
Thank
Did
you.
anyone move that?
No.
There's no future in anybody doing it. You know, there is for me.
Yeah.
If I move it so you don't go home feeling disappointed, but other than that, thank you, awesome, thank you, my love, that's fantastic. You're a...
What's that noise? What is that noise?
You're a
Is that
male.
someone doing a
He's
wine
causing
glass?
vibrations. Thank you, darling. That's fantastic. You're a female. I'm not going to embarrass you by asking your age, but I need to know if you are. Are you over 21 years of age? Possibly, if you're very old, if it's a long time ago, possibly 21 summers. Are you over 21? Yes or no? Are you over 20? Whoa! Come on, you bugger. Excuse me. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, darling. That's enough. I won't ask you any more. I don't want to embarrass you. You're over 21. Thank you for that. Drop it back down for me, my love. Okay, next question. Did you live here at this pub? Did you live here at the pub?
Moving it.
Did you work here at the pub? Did you work here at this pub?
She's moving it.
It's not enough. They should move more.
Wow.
That's fantastic, Dan. That's
Stones,
awesome. That's tremendous. Okay, my love. I have to ask you this because I need to know. I've heard a lot about you, an awful lot about you. Where's the picture?
She's here.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Big question of the night, my love. Martha, is this you that's talking to us now? Martha, are you talking to us?
I feel the vibration.
There's not a lot
I need
there,
a lot
though,
more
is
than
there?
this. Don't be shy, my love. We're not here to ridicule you. We're not here to take the mickey out of you in any way. We want to know more about you. We want to know if it is you that's here. Steve tells me that since he's taken over here as landlord, that you've been keeping an eye on things, checking to see if he's doing a good job or not. All right, that's okay, but it's really not. Martha, you need to move the glass across the table for me, darling. It needs to spin across the table. Come on, you can do this. You're fantastic. You're a super spirit. Come on, my love.
Come on.
You're too concerned with tilting it. You need to spin it. Take it across the table. Come on, darling. You can do that. Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
Oh, good grief.
Did anyone move that?
Oh my God. No.
Swear on your life. Kids alive.
I swear on Aaron Jensen's life.
Martha, that's awesome. Thank you, darling. You're fantastic. Take it back again to the middle of the table for me. Oh,
Oh
here
my
now.
God.
Where's she, please?
Oh my God.
that's tremendous. All right, thank you, darling. Can you do? I'm not asking for party tricks, and I'm not asking you to jump through hoops, my love. But could you? Would you? Will you take it round the table for me? Will you take it round the table for me? Will you take it round the table?
She has no love.
No one's allowed to touch it.
Come on, Martha.
I'll tell you what, then, if you're not going to spin it, take it over and drop it. It won't break. Oh, there's plenty more. Steve's got plenty more glasses. You blew one up the other day, apparently, my love. Is that right? Tilt it and tip it over. Come on. Come on, you can do it. It's not a party trick. I just want you to prove to everyone that you're really here.
Hello. Show the skeptics.
She's going up. Come on, Martha.
Come on, my love. Gather our energies. There's loads of positive. There's the pub's full of.
No, don't put your phone down. Not too heavy.
They're very gentle. Just just rest it gently.
Well, don't push it. We're being serious here.
Oh, really?
Oh!
Come on, darling, that's awesome.
There she goes.
Go on, take it. I'm going to catch it, Martha. Go on, take it over.
Don't let it fall, guys. Don't push it. Let it go on its own.
You're fantastic. Well done, Mike. Are you happy? Are you happy with what Steve's doing?
Left for no.
No, move it for yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You're moving
Awesome,
that.
thank you, darling.
Are you not moving that?
No.
It's still going up.
There is absolutely no reason
pressure
for
on it.
That's fantastic. So long as you're happy with what he's doing. Are you happy with what's happened tonight?
Ask her if she's happy with cleaner.
Yeah. Are you happy with the cleaner?
Are you the cleaner?
Hey, are you happy with the cleaner? Are you happy with the cleaner that's here tonight?
She's happy with you. She's
Well
happy
done, darling.
We all right. You do a good job, lads.
What about where's Wendy gone?
Wendy!
Come on, are you happy with the way Wendy's treating the customers? They were your customers once, weren't they?
She says
They're
yes.
Are you happy? Give us a big yes, Martha. Give us a big yes.
Oh, she is.
That means you think she's shit.
Come on, I think you need to do a bit more now. Tell you what. Little party trick, Martha. Take the glass off the table, darling.
Take it off the table.
Come on, my love. Take the glass off the table. Sorry. Take the glass completely off the table for me, my love. All the way off the table.
Lift it up.
Come on, you can do it. Come on, my love. More energy.
It's not enough.
Come on, it's not enough. I'll catch it. We won't break your glasses, don't worry.
Oh, she's an arm.
She lifted it yet.
Is she alright? Is she all right, Roger?
Not quite getting the hang of this off the table business, is she?
Oh, there you go.
She's going, oh,